Oh no.
Missing.
Greg?
Missing.
I thought this was a duet.
Missing.
Oh, so you're just gonna sing all the parts? Those are not the right sounds.
Missing.
Can you hear me?
Missing. Oh, missing.
Bonk.
Welcome to Miss Thing. I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim. And this is a podcast that celebrates and appreciates the Miss Things of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing story. Tim is sipping psychotically.
I was mimicking what you were doing, which is you were giving me a little look while I did my intro, so I wanted to give that look right back.
Yeah, well, we've gotten to a point where we're getting a little like insane when it comes to
Insane in the membrane.
Making it, of course, naturally. It's a straight person song.
Yeah. Okay.
I
definitely
think it's a Beastie Boys.
Oh, I was gonna say Eminem. So yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm not listening to it.
Yes. Okay, go
But
back.
in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing storied career and do what you and I are most skilled at, what we went to school for, what we went to grad school for, and we'll soon be getting our doctorate in, which is making things all about us.
In fact, I couldn't even let you finish saying that because I was making it all about myself with that little look.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, like, sometimes it's important to sort of make your mark on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you're going to talk about this. I have a feeling you are, but I think we should go right into what happened this weekend.
Yeah, I sort of knew that was coming from a mile away. Why don't you go ahead and tell everyone where you want to begin and how you sort of perceived this experience?
Well, I actually want to say that you handled this bravely and heroically.
As I do,
Yeah.
as I wake up every morning and I face the day
you're a hero.
very bravely,
Yes.
very bravely, yeah, boldly as myself.
Yes, and I think for other power down, episode over.
All right, see you next week. Bye, Cynthia.
Yeah. Oh, bye, Cynthia. Oh my God.
Hey, Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
By the way, I know it's been a while. It's been a little long, but I do want to say hi, Cynthia.
I know. I wonder if she missed us this past week. She didn't have an episode.
Well, I mean, she's of course listening to us at 12:01, which is when the episode comes out. 12:01 on Tuesdays.
Yes. Okay. Well, to the main event of this episode, which is actually this story, which is that we went to a queer writer mixer / party over the weekend.
Yeah.
And Greg and I arrived at this fancy house.
Absolutely
Gorgeous.
Stunning
Yes.
house. Stunning house.
To find, I actually knew this, so Greg could be a little pissed off at me, but I knew because I had been to the house before that it's a shoes off household. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so we get there to a mound of shoes, and Greg looks at me, he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Well, yes, this is a shoes off household, so we're gonna have to take our shoes off." Mm-hmm. To which Greg looks at me frantically and says,
I hope my socks don't have holes in them. And look, Gennifer's, this was, of course, top of mind because just earlier that very day, I had been doing laundry. And you know when you get to the point where you realize, like, half of your socks have holes in them, my underwear seems to be holding together for now, but you realize... One day, I've been in the process of moving, I've been very busy, and I was sort of realizing my socks need an overhaul. I need new ones. And that afternoon, I purchased a whole new bag of socks.
but funnily enough, did not decide to wear them.
I left them, outside of reach when I was getting ready.
Anyway, so we cut to us taking off our shoes. Greg is praying with every fiber of his being, and then...
That my socks don't have holes in them.
And in fact, they actually... I was shocked at the amount of holes.
Right in the big toe of both.
Well, what I said to you...
holes in both.
I said to you, too, which I want to pose to you on the pod, which is, in that moment when you looked at me nervous saying, I hope my... socks don't have holes in them. I said, well, can't you feel it? And that's what I want to know is I can feel when I have a hole in my sock.
Well, I mean,
especially in the big toe. Like if it's just like on the side, maybe no.
Well, I think where they were placed in a way that they were sort of like my toenails had ripped through. And it wasn't actually touching skin, it was touching more nails, so you don't quite know.
And Greg doesn't believe in cutting his toenails, so he's got those like long ones that curl underneath.
Of course not. Toes. Yeah, Guinness vibes. Yeah. You know, I actually did see an old episode of Guinness World Records once with the person with the longest toenails and the way they curled. I mean, it just keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately there were holes in both of my socks.
And so then I very sweetly, the hero in me came out and I said,
not so bad.
And I said, Greg, I was like, it's not so bad. And also, no one is going to be looking at your feet. You've got a great outfit on. Everyone's going to be looking eyes and above, maybe to the shirt. No one's going down towards the feet.
And while I appreciated you saying that, I knew we were at a party full of gay men in Los Angeles.
And I want to say less than 30 seconds later, the very first person we interact with gives you the longest up and down, starting at the feet.
Yeah, it was a dark start to the evening, and we had a whole additional party to go to after that, and you can imagine how I was thrown socially. But to your credit, you continued to talk to me that night.
I did. In fact, I think you smashed it at the party, and I should have known that, of course, this bitch has some holes in her socks.
Right. Yeah. What Lies Beneath.
Yes. Ooh.
Great film. Add that to the missing movie night list.
Wait, have you seen it?
What Lies Beneath? A million times. I saw it with my grandmother.
But
I made my grandmother go to me. With
that
me.
Is, come to me. Come to me, Grandma.
Yeah. I was in, I think, maybe 5th or 6th grade, and I made my grandmother take me to a psychosexual thriller starring Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford.
I think it's about time we get into our
Dog Mom Sauce.
Oh,
wow. Okay, here we go. That's the first time in history you've given
the whole name.
Yeah, you've started with its Christian name.
Yes.
Doll of the Day, Mother of the Moment, Sister of the Second.
Otherwise known as
Dog Mom Sauce. Our famous segment where we talk about the thing, the person, place, or thing that we're currently super obsessed with.
Yes.
Let's start with you. I mean, I'd love to know what you're obsessed with at the moment.
Listeners, do you hear that tone? That's what I get all the time.
Well, yeah.
I was at a Writers Guild mixer. It was a Zoom one, actually. So I was here. And to do, they started doing a dumb icebreaker where it's okay, I want everyone to go around and get to know each other better. So say your name. And then why don't we just do a fun hidden talent or fun fact, anything that's interesting. It can be whatever you want. And so everyone's slowly going down the list, and it's what you think. It's I can do the thing with my tongue, whatever that's called.
Oh, sure. I can do this with my tongue.
That's what it is. What's a clover?
Clover?
Isn't that
I've never really... Well, people do the loop typically, and I think there's
people were doing a lot of that, what you were doing.
That's loop 2.0.
Oh, I see. I always thought that was clover leaf or something. Anyways, do it towards the camera.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Usually I do it so fast, but today I'm struggling. I mean...
Well, listeners, if you're only listening, you should go to YouTube to look at the... beautiful piece of art that Greg just created.
Of course. And be sure to subscribe and and comment on everything, of course.
But so people are doing that. Someone does the alphabet backwards really quickly,
The alphabet backwards.
Alphabet.
Someone did the alphabet backwards practice. Yes. And they might have a drinking problem. We wish them nothing but the best.
They did actually defy gravity backwards. But so then I'm fuck, I don't have anything. And then I very quickly realized, oh wait, I know how to do a weird whistle, which I'm going to see if I can do it right now for the pod, which is I can do okay, so that was what I was trying to do, which is a bird whistle.
Uh-huh. And you did it so beautifully and so quickly.
I got so nervous because, in fact, it's my turn, I'm a Z, so I'm pretty much last. There's one person behind me. And I go, and then I'm hi, my name's Tim Zintek, and I guess I can do this bird whistle. I go to make that sound, and instead I go... And I was literally and then I was oh, everyone looks, and then I was oh, sorry, I think my lips are just dry, let me try again. And then I'm And I'm like so embarrassed that like I said I
just
could
caught
whistle.
some wind over here, by the way. My hair's blowing back. Skin flapping.
Yeah. Your hair has actually never looked better after I blowed it. Yeah.
Thank you.
But then literally like my dad mom sauce, finally getting to it, is one person in the Zoom room just very sweetly says, "What a beautiful whistle." And I will say it didn't sound condescending. It didn't sound like passive aggressive. Like it felt very genuinely like they were just like, I haven't heard that whistle before. In fact, because it's not a whistle. I turned like beet red, and I was very much like, this is the worst day of my life.
Sure.
But I want to give it up to that person who I've already forgotten their name.
And we salute you. And it's so nice to have support in such a hard town like Hollywood.
And it's also just like so typical that I like pretty much every single time try to do that whistle. And I've succeeded with flying colors, but not that day.
Of course, and you just gave me COVID, just demonstrating.
One can only hope. Yeah,
one could only hope.
And then it's just you're out sick, and then unfortunately, like I have to do the podcast on my own.
Oh my God, you're a dream. Yeah. So we wouldn't have to work on editing me out of every single.
One day
frame.
I'll achieve that dream. Greg, what's your dad mom sauce?
I knew you were dying to ask.
Yep.
I knew you were dying to ask. So I recently found myself at a little establishment called Dave & Buster's.
I've heard of it.
I had heard of it, never been before.
Really? Okay.
The adult.
So you've never had fun in your life?
No.
Yeah.
No. And why start now?
Yeah.
And of course, Dave & Buster's, a very unique experience. Love my friend who I was there celebrating. Wish him nothing but the happiest birthday. And Dave & Buster's, of course, is a doll for another day.
Yes.
A doll.
Both Dave and Buster.
Dave and or Buster.
Yeah.
Both. We can choose one.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to, and I will not be silenced.
Yeah. I feel like I'm Dave, you're Buster.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In a professional setting, I can be more Dave.
Yeah. I feel like after 11, I'm more Buster.
Yeah. We both, we're versed in that way.
And I think for the listeners, we want you to know that you can be both Dave and Buster.
And Buster. But are you a Dave or a Buster? Please weigh in.
Please comment below.
Comment below. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Yeah. Dave and Buster, doll for another day. Yeah. What I want to talk about, we were in Alhambra, I believe, for this party. And it was at a mall.
Okay.
There was a store there called 99 Ranch Market. Okay. It's kind of like an Asian grocery store, I think, but it's a bit of a chain. Cents? No. And I don't know why, okay. and I cannot. And you think I Googled, you'd be wrong. But I did do a swing through 99 Ranch Market on the way out, and my dad mom sauce is this peach ice cream that I got.
Ooh.
So I am a stone fruit fanatic, especially in the summer. But turns out, in this form, you can have it all year round. What we got...
This form?
It was an ice cream, a peach ice cream flavor, but it came in the form of like an actual peach on a stick. So not only were they giving you peach flavor, they were giving you apple. They were giving you peach texture. Oh. Came on a stick, even had the fuzz. There were
what was the fuzz?
We don't need to get into it. And I don't even know what language the label was in. But when I tell you this thing was delicious, I cannot wait to get back out to Alhambra and get this.
That sounds delicious.
It was exceptional. You
are so moved that you can't even say the right words.
I'm so Wonka today. Yeah. I feel like.
I think we both are. This is our Wonka episode.
We are so Wonka coded this episode.
100%.
In the sense that we'll
like
also...
holes in socks, we're both misspeaking. I can't even say misspeaking.
We will break out in song when you least expect it.
Should we take a break?
Yes.
Welcome back.
Oh my God.
We did it.
We're getting better at it. I mean, but now it's moved on to Dot Mom, which is where we're...
It's slowly infecting the pod.
where we're disconnected.
Yeah.
But it is time for our Miss Thing of the Week.
And this Miss Thing, we have both seen in concert together.
Together from the very, very last row.
Which is a very Zintek thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a bad... Some people say there's no bad seats.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Did we say that?
Listen, I loved it. I have no complaints because when I'm seeing this Miss Thing, there is only sunshine and just sheer excitement at seeing her live. I've, in fact, seen her, I think, 4 times.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because this Miss Thing is my sister's, ultimate pop diva.
My mother's favorite artist of all time. She's your mother's artist's favorite artist.
Oh, 100%.
Wait, and your mother's favorite artist's favorite artist.
And I also think, and your, witchy friend's favorite artist.
Totally.
Artist,
And also our favorite artist's favorite artist.
Which is us, because we are the artists. Anyways.
Our art pop could mean anything, as they say.
Truly. Our Miss Thing is
Stevie Nicks. I mean...
Speechless.
Oh,
Alphaba.
Yeah, that's Alphaba. Yeah. I mean, not Stevie, but...
Stevie is, first off, Fleetwood Mac, the songs that she wrote, the album Rumors. Is there a better album?
No. It's the ultimate band, 70s album. I think it's transcended time. Fleetwood Mac is... what I wouldn't give to have seen them live then, but to know that you and I actually went to their very, very last concert as a group together.
Yeah. Insane.
So special. You invited me last minute, which I do appreciate. I have not completed the Venmo request.
And I'm sending daily reminders.
Sure.
But it's also she has broken so many records, and on top of that has been, I feel one of the most influential female artists of all time. And so many people want to be her, want to dress like her. All these years later, she is the reference point for how to be cool and
witchy.
Yes.
Yeah, and
her style.
Her style, her haircut. I feel
her turns, those famous twirls.
The famous twirls. Which we saw in person, and I swear she hypnotizes you with the famous twirls. You feel like you're entering a different portal. She is the blueprint. I feel like she is autumn in a person.
Yes. 100%. She, to me, is October.
Oh. Which we are definitely recording this episode in. And of course, the reason that we are inspired to do this, to do her as a Miss Thing, as we would be inspired to do her at any time, but it is October, it's spooky season, it's autumn, and she is about to perform on SNL, and we are
so excited.
What's she gonna do?
I know, is she gonna release a new single, or is she just gonna do the hits? What would be your dream 2 songs that she would perform on SNL, assuming it's not a new song?
Well, I will say the 2 that I would like to hear that have nothing to do with my story, which would be Stand Back and Edge of 17. But I would really want to hear Stand Back and Rooms on Fire, which we'll get to.
Oh, okay.
I did want to tell one more story about my mother. Stevie is her favorite artist. My mother sees Stevie every time she comes around the New York, New Jersey area.
Because your mother has taste.
Real taste. And that is not shared by her birthday twin, who is, of course, you.
I'm leaving.
But she sees her every time she comes around the East Coast. And last time she saw her, she was up in the front row, and Stevie reached out. She touched her glove. She said it's the softest leather she's ever felt.
Oh, wow.
Just so you know.
For a second, I thought Stevie reached out to touch your mother's leather glove. And I was going to say that is iconic. She is my Don Mom socks. I just love the idea of your mom in like really rich leather gloves reaching out to Stevie, and Stevie reaches back.
I would love to get eyes on the leather gloves that they sell at TJ Maxx.
Is that your mother's store?
She's a Maxxinista.
Oh, well, again, she has taste.
She's at TJ Maxx nearly every day, whether it's buying or returning.
There is nothing a mom loves to do more than to return something. Every story my mom tells me is like everything she's returned at Kohl's. Yeah,
I mean, every single time you call your mom, if she's not returning something at the store, you're like, what's wrong? Are you feeling okay?
I know. There is something very much like, if my mom is not bragging about how much like Kohl's cash she has, I'm very much like, Mom, do you need to sit down? Like, is Dad near you? Like, please, are you drinking water?
Should I send help?
Yeah.
Should I dial 911?
Exactly. And this episode goes out to all those
moms. The mothers and all of their many, many returns.
Yes. Okay.
It's time for you to get into your story, because we've been talking about Miss Stevie for far too long.
She is mother. She is
obviously. Mother. She's Dodd Mom always.
Yeah. So Stevie makes me think of, which we've already talked about on this pod many times, actually, I believe. Oh. She makes me think of the song Crystal, which is from the motion picture soundtrack Practical Magic.
That's where I've heard that one. Exactly. Famous movie I haven't seen all the way through.
And so I was obsessed with that song. I was obsessed with that movie, as we've already well documented here. And in that movie, there is a love spell that
okay, spoiler alert.
Well, it's very early on. It's like first act, which I don't know if you've even gotten through the first act yet.
I don't believe so.
Well, as kids, little Sandy B and Nicole K do a love spell. Sandy does like a love spell for like the perfect man, that like she'll fall in love if he has like one eye blue, one eye green, if his favorite shape is a star, if he can flip a pancake, like all these random things. So I watched that film and I thought, wow, I need to be manifesting. I need to make my own like spell. Cut to, I am in computer class with one of my best friends, Tara. We're in like those like computers in the round, you know what I'm talking about, where you're like all like in my class, in my
hacker
like
style,
in my like computer classroom, we had like the computers were all in a circle, like the table was a circle, and we were all like it was just like circle tables.
I'm picturing like Wall Street. You all like running around.
We were actually
in
at
suits.
Wall Street. Yeah.
Sure, okay.
But so like that was, so the thing was, I was at a
numbers
circle table.
coming down the wall.
Really stressed, like slamming coffee.
Full Matrix.
Yeah. Did you ever have Operation Neptune?
Not a chance.
Well, you did have Oregon Trail, right?
Of course. So and Mavis Beacon taught me everything I know, let alone typing.
Who?
God.
Oh, God.
Famous thing, Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
Oh, I don't know if I have that. I had that.
Okay.
I know. You didn't have Operation Neptune, which is... Anyways, back to my story, which is... So we weren't doing... Like, we were doing some sort of like ASDF, like you're trying to type as many words or things as quickly as possible.
Hands in the position. You've assumed the position.
And so me and Tara would switch keyboards a lot and not do the assignment and then just like type chat to each other. So it's like I would have her keyboard, she would have mine. And so we're talking, at this point I'm dating famous first and only girlfriend, which I've already talked about, Olivia.
Right.
And in that moment...
You can see her in the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Exactly.
Not in the documentary, or maybe, I don't know.
Say, like, what's the Dallas Buyers Club?
You can see her in Dallas Buyers Club, yeah.
Yeah. And so... we're talking and Tara's like, how is it going with your girlfriend Olivia? And I'm like, great. It's just crazy because I like manifested this. And she's like, really? What do you mean? And I was like, well, I like basically cast a like spell. And she was like, well, what was on the like spell? And so I'm like, again, I'm in 7th grade. And I'm like, well, like pretty eyes, pretty face, pretty hair. Like everything was just pretty. It was all, nothing, by the way, it was all outer. It was like, Olivia had like a cute like Dakota Johnson style gap in her front teeth, you know? And it's like pretty little gap in her teeth, blah, blah, blah. I'm just listing these off cut to, again, after computer class, I find out that Carolyn, Olivia's best friend, was on the other side of Tara's computer, so she could see what was being typed, and she's only seeing all these compliments.
Oh,
I'm at my locker at the end of the day. Olivia comes up very emotional and is just like, hey, I hear that you were flirting with Tara. I thought we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And I'm like clutching my pearls, and I'm like, Olivia, you are the only girl for me. I'm like, that actually, this is like really corny, but like I cast a like spell, and I was just like listing off all the things I like about you. Like, you are my only girl.
Right, you are everything I asked for in a person.
You are everything I dreamed
You
of.
and Leonardo DiCaprio also.
You are the actual only woman I will ever want. I was using my words very carefully.
Totally,
you know?
totally. Yeah.
And so then I was very much like, we're going to Van Helsing this upcoming weekend. You know, we're going to have a good time. Trust me, I will show you.
Yeah, and Gennifer, as you know what happened
exactly.
there.
And let's just say, you know, I kissed her and the spell was broken. The like spell was broken.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, famous moment in Miss Thing history.
And also maybe, I look back now and like, maybe it was a curse that I cast. You know, like maybe I was meant to be straight, but then I cast this spell.
Right,
Yeah.
so you reversed your own straightness.
Yes.
Yeah,
And that's how it works. That's how it works, everyone.
Yeah,
Gennifer's,
just beware.
Inertias.
Yeah, just beware when you're dabbling in the dark arts, okay, Inertias?
Yes, exactly. Craig, how do you make Stevie Nicks all about yourself?
Well, Stevie has been a part of my life for a long time. As I mentioned, she's your mother's favorite artist, favorite artists. Lots of plurals in there.
Yeah.
I would listen to her constantly in the car. I've just always been a huge Stevie fan. Fleetwood, but also the solo career.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite songs is, I've already said it, Rooms on Fire. Mm-hmm. And that is a song that my now husband and I are constantly always kind of trying to make happen, actually. And I think all of our friends love it. And why wouldn't you love it? It's one of Stevie's great songs. But that reminds me of early on in our courtship. So I was wooed to that famous husband of the pod, primarily at first because of his skills in the kitchen.
Great cook.
I've been eating really well ever since we've known each other.
He also makes it look very easy in a way that when I'm in the kitchen, I am stressed. He is talking to you so casually, doing things that I would be asking a million questions, and he's like, I don't know, I'm just feeling it out.
Yeah, lights a duck on fire.
Yeah.
Just like he's the Stevie Nicks witch of the kitchen. So I quickly learned I was going to have to earn my keep around there. You know, I'm eating well, but I need to contribute a little bit in the kitchen. So I realized that don't laugh at me. Don't you laugh at me on our podcast.
It's the only thing I know how to do.
So disrespectful, so disrespectful. But morning was my domain.
Okay.
As evident, I mean, you know how I was at that pancake breakfast.
Yeah.
Imagine
Also famous
Miss Thing
moment
history,
Yeah.
of course. So I would, do things like smoothies. I like to prepare the night before, usually for morning of.
I like that you say morning was your domain, and then the first thing you say is smoothie, which is very me-coded.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, you've got to fuel up for the day. You've got your protein. You've got your what goes in there? Fruits?
Yeah, a milk of some sort.
Sure, yeah. Well, you've got to fuel up for the day. And, of course, I need to fuel up that if I want to eat lunch and dinner.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
That day.
Yeah.
We were living in New York at the time. And, I said I was sort of covering breakfast, but we would go out and get coffee usually. But this particular morning, we were in a rush. And we had been roommates now for a few months.
Yeah.
I say, you know what? I'm just going to make us some tea. So we get caffeinated in an old-fashioned way, sort of a classy way.
Yeah.
So I go into the kitchen. I grab the kettle off its little holder. I fill it with water. Turn on the gas.
Yeah.
Put it on the flame. Leave the room. so I could let the water cook, do its
yeah.
thing. Not 20 seconds later, our fire alarm starts going off.
Oh my God.
Smoke detector blaring.
Okay.
I run into the kitchen. What could possibly be the issue? There is smoke everywhere. And a huge flame on the stove. I grab the kettle.
No.
I throw it into the sink.
Did you burn yourself?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. But as I'm throwing it in the sink, there is black goo dripping from it everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what's going on. But there's like the biggest mess you could ever imagine. And I almost just burned the kitchen down. I was just boiling water. I feel like I could handle that. That comes running in. He goes, what did you do? I said, I don't know. I'm just trying to make us tea. I was just boiling some water. He said, why are you boiling water? That's an electric kettle. I went, oh, yeah. I guess in the cold, hard light of day, forgot how to use the kettle.
That is insane because I have done the exact same thing at an Airbnb. So I just want to say that what you did is anyone, even the smartest person, that could happen to. Even though I can't even speak. But
hearing you did that makes me feel kind of worse. That I would fall for that. That I'd make that critical error.
It's very Miss Thing co-host coded.
It's so Miss Thing. It's so us, quite frankly. I have a game.
Ooh, okay.
Can't wait. You weren't expecting to hear that.
I'm shocked. So
this is a little game I like to call Stevie Nicks or Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Okay.
They're both witchy queens with a specific brand of magic. So I'm going to read off some names.
Okay.
And you're going to tell me if they belong in the Stevie Nicks coven.
Ooh.
Or Jolly Old Saint Nick's Christmas coven.
Wow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this.
Stevie Nicks or Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Thank God. Thank God you said that.
Careful.
I thought you were.
I love her, but she is a different kind of. She is not witchy.
She's Christmas.
Yeah, she's Christmas. She is mass holiday.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fair, and I really, really admire that. I thought Folklore or Evermore might like change the temperature, but yes.
Okay.
Britney Spears.
Okay, I'm also going to say Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Okay. Christina Aguilera.
I'm shocking myself here, but I'm going to say Stevie Nicks.
It's harder than you think. Mariah Carey.
Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Obviously. Yeah. Chappell Roan.
Ooh. Okay, I'm going to say Stevie Nicks. I know you're disappointed by that.
No. BB Rexa.
I think she's like an elf. I think she's in the Jolly Old Saint Nick's elf.
Keebler vibes.
Yeah, Keebler.
She's a little Keebler.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She's not quite in Santa's workshop, but she's
not
quite in Stevie Nicks' wooden.
But she does produce some tasty treats.
Sure. Okay. I like that. Ava Max.
Keebler elf. I'm sort of going rogue.
You're sort of going, no, we got to keep on Stevie Nicks or Jolly Old Saint Nick. Ava Max.
Jolly Old Saint Nick. Okay.
Okay, I think that's accurate. Okay. Jenna Dewan Tatum.
Wow. I mean, where do you place her? It's a tough one. I'm gonna do Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Oh yeah. Hey, Julianne Hough.
Ooh. There's no third option.
No.
Okay, Jolly Old Saint Nick.
Derek Huff.
Jolly Old Saint Nick.
And that's the game. Thanks for playing.
It's a very small group of people that I would let into the Stevie Nicks coven.
Totally.
Yeah.
Harder than you think.
I'm shocked that you didn't put Gaga there. I just feel...
Lady Gaga.
Stevie Nicks.
Okay.
Well, I have a game for you.
Okay, hit me.
My game is, who would survive an Oregon Trail? And you come up with what you think would happen to them. So the first person is Pink.
fortunately or unfortunately, Pink would survive the Oregon Trail.
She makes it to the waterfall. Oh, the raft. The raft.
Yeah, no, well, but yeah, I don't. She would slingshot over the water.
Yeah,
but she would survive. Yeah, those abs.
She would.
She's strong.
Rihanna,
she would serve. No. I like to think she'd withstand, but I think Rihanna would kind of, she'd indulge a little bit too much along the way, get bitten by a snake.
Yeah.
And then I think she'd
go in style.
Yeah, she just wouldn't really fight it, I think.
She'd be like, it's my time.
Yeah, she'd be tired.
She'd probably like, I don't want to be on this trail.
Totally. I mean, she gave so much at the beginning of the trail.
It also feels like, who would want to be on the trail? You know?
No, of course. Yeah. And she's way too fabulous for the trail.
Us, on the other hand, like, we're doomed to just always be on the trail.
Yeah, and we would not be allowed in the same carriage as her. Is that what they're in?
Oh, we would be dragging her.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're the horses.
Yeah.
We're like,
or the ox.
Teeth on the whatever.
Thing,
the whatever they
leather. Yeah.
I don't know any of the technical terms.
Beyonce.
She would be steering the ship.
Gaga.
Unfortunately, I think Gaga would go early on.
Okay.
Psychosis.
The
fever would take hold. Love her. I do.
Yeah. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift would die on the first day. She doesn't have the disposition. I'm sorry.
Okay. Controversial choice. That's the game. You did the game, and I love that the only one who survived was Pink, which which I think does check out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you see what she does she's just defying so much gravity, Elphaba style.
Oh, wait. Last one. Cynthia Erivo.
I mean, she'll make it to the end. She's gonna EGOT along the way.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's
no doubt
her voice will carry her through,
and she will single-handedly be taking the stragglers with her, saving them along the way, taking them.
Of course, and yeah, she's very strong, and her working knowledge of the Miss Thing lore will save her.
Yes.
You know, all of the information we give here on the pod, she is well versed in. Yeah. So she's got those survival skills that she'll need on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
Because Miss Thing is nothing if not a pamphlet for what you should do if you want to survive the Oregon Trail.
100%. Okay, well, with that, should we take a break?
Yeah, it's time to take a break.
And we're back. Oh my God, Greg's just sort of like sneezing,
scratching my
nose.
Scratching my nose.
Okay, well we're back.
Oh God. Well,
and it's time for our segment, Diva Down, which Greg will explain.
Well, our Diva Down. I mean, look. What else is there to discuss?
Well, do you want to explain what the segment is?
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm over here scratching my nose. I was not prepared, but that's sort of the lot I've been given in life. Diva Down, of course, is our segment where we give a bit of unsolicited gay guy advice to someone or something in the culture who could use our help. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right now...
It's a repeat offender.
Yeah. Diva Down 2.0
is Katy Perry's before it was Katy Perry's album release strategy, and now it's actually just the album itself because it is now out. Katy Perry's album 143.
It's now out and getting the worst reviews of her career, which
it's getting eviscerated. Which I will say this. Like, I think that when someone is down, people tend to pile on in a way that is unproductive and mean-spirited. And we're not trying to do that here.
We're not doing that today. Although I did see a hilarious tweet where someone said, I know why the album's called 143, because you'll be able to find $1 for $3 in the bargain bin soon. And that was hilarious.
That is very funny. I think you have sent me a couple others that are very funny. But my advice, I think what she was maybe missing was just a little bit of time to brainstorm what should have been the next thing. She was too busy with American Idol and her new baby that she just didn't. I would like to give her the benefit of the doubt that she just didn't have a moment of silence to actually think about it. And so I would like to have just a few seconds of silence here for Katy Perry and 143.
You make me feel like I'm living a teenage dream. Don't ever look back. Don't ever look back.
And that's enough.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I couldn't find the word, so I had to.
But hopefully that like recenters her, you know?
And reminds her that at one point she was making really good music.
Yeah.
And get back to that.
Get back to that.
I mean, we've already given the advice, no Dr. Luke. We've learned that lesson the hard way now.
Just sit in some silence for a bit.
Yeah, and also if they're still hiring on American Idol and they're doing another season, I would say maybe return to the well there and make some money for the next few years. I mean, this town has been ravaged by the strike.
I'm also kind of like, maybe this is my last piece of advice, is also like, maybe just disappear. Become like the Loch Ness Monster, where we're all like, where is she? Did she die? Is she alive? We don't know. And then like there'll be such like, what happened to Katy Perry? There'll be like a documentary. And then 10 years from now you come back and doesn't even matter what the song is. We will fucking love it.
Yeah, you find her in the nunnery.
Yeah.
Repenting.
Oh, yes.
Repenting.
Now that, we're going to write that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think maybe there's some work that needs to be done there. Getting right with God and the nuns.
Yes, and that is what Greg is all about, getting right with God and the nuns. Yeah. Okay, and on that
note, of course.
All right, until next time,
bye. Miss Thing Podcast is created, executive produced, and hosted by Greg Trimmer and Tim Zintek.
It's produced and edited by Benji Simons, with cover art and additional creative support by Claude Zines.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Miss Thing the Pod.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, but only raves. Strictly 5 stars and above.
Follow Greg at Greg Trimmer and Tim at Tim_Zintek on all social media. BONK.